All right, so Pivot Interactives is the platform that we're going to be using for the lab portion of this course. This is in lieu of purchasing a lab kit and trying to set up these labs at home and doing them by yourself. So we're still going to be doing a lot of measuring and graphing and concluding. We just aren't going to be touching the things. So there's going to be a lot of measuring, just not in-person measuring. So once you get into the lab, for example, this is the circle lab. This is the first lab that you're going to be doing in 1600. And there'll be some information. Now, they're all going to look a little bit different, but there's going to be some information up here at the front about what we're going to be doing. And then there's going to be a place to measure and take your data. So the other part of this is the video that is what you're going to be measuring. And some labs have more than one. Some have others. It just kind of depends. So if you click on play, you can see that here we have the circle that we're going to be measuring. We have a piece of string that's going to go around that circle. So if you looked closely, this piece of string was circling the base of this circle, and now it's laid out flat. So we're going to be able to measure it, and that measurement is going to be the circumference of your circle. So that's an example of a video that would have something for you to measure. Now over here in our video, there's this little tool icon. And when you click on it, it opens up several different options. So there's a stopwatch here. That's not really important for us right now. There's a ruler. That is important, right? You can click and you can drag it. I'm pretty sure you can like rotate it as well. Oh yeah, so if you need to rotate it, if you're at an angle. So as you're measuring different things, and now I can't get it to go right. As you're measuring different things, you can change that a little bit. There's a graph grid. There's a protractor, so you can measure angles. There's an RGB thing that I've never used, but looks really interesting. But we're going to use this ruler. So for this particular lab, we are comparing the diameter and the circumference of circles. Now notice that we are not calculating anything at this point. We are measuring, right? So when we have two variables, we measure them. We do not calculate them. So we're going to take our ruler and we're going to come over and we're going to do this one first because this one, the perspective of this particular one is a little trickier. So we're going to do this one together. So if you bring your ruler over and you drag it, you want to find the center of the circle. Now this is an estimate, right? So your data is not going to be exactly perfect, but that's okay. We'll get into that a little bit more later on. So if we line this up, that looks about like the center, I think. And then you just read it like you would a ruler. So here's 20. So this is, this is perspective thing. So we're going to measure to the center. So that looks like about 15 centimeters. So over here is a place to put your data. Okay. So I've already typed in diameter here. So we're going to do the diameter and we're going to do the circumference. The units for the diameter in this case is centimeters, and we can put D for diameter. The diameter we have 14 centimeters. And then we're just going to bring our ruler up here, and we're going to measure the length of that string, which was wrapped around the base of our circle. So that's going to be our diameter. So that looks like about 42 as our circumference. And again, this is measured in centimeters, and we have this. Okay. And we're going to want to graph this. And in this case, there is a graph here. And you can click on this to configure. It asks you which one you want to put along the x-axis, which is diameter. And it'll fill in a lot of, if you've added those things into your data table, it'll fill it in for you. And so then this one, we want to be circumference. And you can see that it puts a dot there for you. Okay. So then you're just going to go through. There's some more examples here. You can see that string wrapped around the circles. Oh, looks like I have two. I'll have to get rid of one of those. I'll delete that one. So several different circles here that you're going to measure. All of the perspectives should be okay on this one. Notice they get progressively smaller. A little bit maybe more difficult to measure. And so then you're going to just, once you have this in as your data, you're going to go through and answer the questions.